The 2024 World Series rematch comes to an end in Los Angeles. Are the Cubs one of the most complete teams in baseball? And we got ourselves a new home run leader as of today. This is Locked On MLB Game Night.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night. Thank you for being here. My name is John Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. You can find me at Super Halo Bros. With me is my co-host Steve Lenox of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can find him at Lenox on Baseball. Coming up on today's show, the Brew Crew. Heating up, baby. The Mets do something they haven't done all season. And will the Royals go shopping for some offense after this series with the Tigers? We have all of that and much, much more. But first, we have to get to the World Series rematch finale in Los Angeles. The Dodgers took the first two of this three-game set. And on Sunday, it came to an end. Here's Brian McKeon of Locked On Yankees to tell us how this one went down.
Yankees salvaged the final game of the three-game set against the Dodgers by getting a 7-3 victory and somehow getting it to Yamamoto. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees. We'll be talking about it all week. The Yankees get an off day on Monday, and then they'll head back home to start up their homestand. And who had Ben Rice homering over Yamamoto? Better yet, who had the Yankees winning the Yamamoto start? That was the game that everyone thought they were going to have trouble with. They wound up winning that game and getting thoroughly embarrassed throughout the series, and I think that leads to what the take from this series is. The Yankees are not in the same class as the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball. The Dodgers are willing to make moves where they need to and willing to have a great player at every single position, and the Yankees are going to need to do that, and this series hopefully woke them up and let them know that they need to make some significant moves come trade deadline time. We'll be discussing that and much more on Locked On Yankees all week. I'm Brian McKeon.
Yeah, the Yankees able to salvage that series in the 7-3 victory. Vince from Locked On Dodgers has the other side of things and where this one went wrong. Brian did mention Yamamoto. Let's hear from Vince right now.
The most annoying way to win a series is to win the first two and lose the last. And that's what the Dodgers did behind a struggling performance from Yamamoto and the offense. This is Vince from Locked On Dodgers. It was not Yoshinobu Yamamoto's day as he didn't get out of the fourth inning. Threw 93 pitches and 3 2/3, gave up a few runs, and just didn't look like himself. Only had one swing and miss on the splitter all day, one swing and miss on the curveball. We're hoping it's not a matter of the hip issue he had after last start, but we'll just have to wait and see there. And on offense, Ryan Yarbrough. That Ryan Yarbrough. He shut the Dodgers offense down. The top four in Shohei, Teo, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, 0 for 16. That's just not a recipe for success. Max Muncy did homer, which is good to see as he continues to show out. Tommy Edman homered. There was some positive things, but ultimately the Dodgers lost. But they won the series. We're going to talk about it all on Locked On Dodgers, where we get podcasts, and on YouTube.
Yeah, we also saw a home run from Andy Pages as well in this one, Steve. But as Vince mentioned, not the greatest start from Yamamoto, right?
Yeah, 96 pitches total over his outing that lasted 3 2/3 innings and 59 strikes. As Vince said, that splitter, the baseball's different. So it's the splitter and the breaking ball. You still an adjustment from Japan to the U.S. and Major League Baseball with that. That's what I always think about when guys bring up Japanese-born players and pitchers in particular. But, gave up the 2-run home run to Ben Rice in the third inning. That put the Yankees up 3-1. Rice now, John, on the season, 12 home runs, but like the Dodgers, the 3 home runs, all solo shots. Ben Rice, 12 home runs, 25 RBIs. I feel like that's Mike Trout from a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? But the Yankees get on the plane, go back east, off day on Monday, as Brian mentioned, and then they open up a series against the Guardians. Dodgers take 2 out of 3, a lot of runs, but Yarbrough, just terrific, giving up the 1 run. 3-0 on the season. He's a guy who can work out of the bullpen. He's a guy who can give you length as a starter. It's a big piece right now for the Yankees.
Absolutely. And with that kind of versatility, he might have a case to stay in the rotation, even with some of the Yankees pitching coming back. I know Luis Gil is, on the mend and coming back soon. How about DJ LeMahieu turning back the clock in this one, Steve. 4 hits, 2 of which were doubles, and a 2 RBI night. And that made up for the fact that Aaron Judge, one of the big stars in this one, along with Shohei Ohtani, 0 for 4 night from both of them. Aaron Judge did have a walk and a run scored, but 2 Ks on the night. Shohei had himself a strikeout in this one as well. So a wild weekend. What were your thoughts about this World Series rematch from over the weekend?
Again, getting back to the home runs, Judge hits 3 in the series. Ohtani hits 2, all 5 solo shots.
Yeah.
Imagine if Ohtani had anyone on base in the previous 2 games where they absolutely walloped Yankees pitching. But, the Dodgers do show where they're at right now. They've got the Mets coming in next. But, the Yankees we know are probably going to be active at the trade deadline. Brian has hit on that a couple of times. And maybe this does show that the Yankees are still, some talent. They're not far off. But what the Dodgers have spent, the Yankees can go out there and they can make some moves. I don't know that they have the prospects where they can land a big one. But I'm not a Yankee fan, but I have faith in Brian Cashman that he can go out there and he can work the phones and the emails and the text messages, and he'll come up with something before that deadline that isn't fast approaching, but it's on the horizon. I think we could say.
Yeah, it's about to get interesting in Major League Baseball. And to quote the great Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, life finds a way, and it seems like the Yankees always find a way. So that was an exciting series for sure. But let's take it to a really exciting team. The Brewers and the Phillies meet for the final match of this series. What a week it's been for the Milwaukee Brewers. They looked for their 7th straight win and a possible sweep against the Phillies this weekend. Chuck of Locked On Brewers is here to tell us if the Brew Crew could get it done on this Sunday afternoon. Let's hear from Chuck right now.
Covering the final day here at the U.S. Women's Open. Doesn't mean I wasn't following the Brewers game and watching that on my iPad here. Chuck Freeman hits the reaction. Locked On Brewers. Can you believe it? 7 in a row. 7 in a row. I didn't think this team was capable of winning more than 2 in a row. 7 in a row. They swept the Phillies. I don't care if Bryce Harper wasn't playing or not, man. They still went to Philadelphia and won a 3-game series. Terrific pitching. Quintana the first 5. The rest of the bullpen. We'll have to check out Yelly's injury. The Brewers also DFA Alexander. But a win, a 3-game series sweep in Philadelphia. And, man, they're into Cincinnati now. Reds better look out, man. The Brewers are charging here, looking for their 8th win in a row on Monday night. We'll talk to you a little bit later on tonight on the next edition of Locked On Brewers. Please subscribe.
Yeah, just the Brew Crew. It's not easy to win in Philadelphia against the Phillies. But as Chuck mentioned, Christian Yelich was removed after his first at-bat of the game. He got hit on the hand. Now, the x-rays were negative, but the hand is swollen, so he's considered day-to-day. Meanwhile, Connor Thomas of Locked On Phillies shares his disappointment in everybody on this team, except maybe for Ranger Suarez. Let's hear what Connor has to say.
The Philadelphia Phillies just could not find a way to a win today, and the defense was suspect at best. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. Weston Wilson with a misplay in left field. Trey Turner with a terrible error in the 7th inning. And that's how you lose a ball game that you should have won. The offense was quiet, and that's going to happen. But that defense at the major league level, it can't, especially when you're looking at a situation where you're going to avoid the sweep. The Phillies deserve to get swept in this one. They did not show up for the series against the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'm disappointed with the effort. I'm disappointed with the performance. I'm disappointed with everything from the Philadelphia Phillies in this series. I mean, I guess Ranger was all right. It's the only thing you can kind of take out of this game today, but we're going to have to talk about how the Phillies get back on track tomorrow in the next episode of Locked On Phillies, and I am not going to be kind to the team after this series sweep to a lesser team in the Milwaukee Brewers. And no, the Phillies are not trading for Rhys Hoskins. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I love that. So we got Nick in the comments here, a fan of the Brew Crew. Steve, I know when stuff like this happens for your favorite team, you don't want to talk about it too much. You don't want to jinx anything, but Brewers are sitting at 32-28, 5.5 back of the Cubs. It's coming for the Cubs, their next goal. What do you say?
I think right now they just pay attention to what they're doing. And, this win streak started by winning the finale last weekend against the Pirates. And then they take all 3 against the Red Sox. 2 of those wins in walk-off fashion. Christian Yelich with one of those walk-off wins, a grand slam. And then he had 2 home runs in the opener against the Phillies on Friday. I look at this right now. Again, for the Brewers, take care of your own business. Right now, the Cubs 4 up on the Cardinals, 5.5 up on Milwaukee in that NL Central. Brewers have won 7 in a row. 3 against the Reds starting on Monday. They're 8 over at home. After the 3-game series against the Reds, 10 at home. 3 against San Diego, 3 against Atlanta, 4 against the Cardinals before mid-June and a series at Wrigley Field. Let's table it right now. Just keep winning.
Yeah.
Win
Just
series.
Keep getting
That's
it done.
all you have to do.
Absolutely.
So the division can be there because the Cubs, I think, come back a little bit. And I think the Cardinals and certainly the Brewers will inch closer in that division. And, this is a series against the Reds. You can put a little space and a little bit more space and have a little bit more breathing room with the Reds looking up at you in the standings.
Hey, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, and Francisco Lindor do something they haven't done all season. And we're going to tell you what it is coming right up. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Wonderful Pistachios. You guys know that bringing pistachios to a baseball game is one of the best things that you can do because pistachios are delicious and nutritious. So grab yourself some Wonderful Pistachios today at wonderfulpistachios.com, filled with a good source of protein, one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving gives you 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help you keep going all day long. If you want to eat them by the handful, pick up the no-shell variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days, but you're trying to stay away from the sweets or maybe the chips. Get yourself some no-shell variety Wonderful Pistachios. But if you're like me and you're fidgety watching your favorite baseball team, whether you're at the game or whether you're at home and the Halos are letting you down, is that just me? That's just me. If they're letting you down, you like to fidget, get the in-shell variety because then you'll have something to crack open and throw into your mouth with the in-shell variety, a classic favorite. So get snackin' and get crackin' with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Back here on a Locked On MLB Game Night, we're taking you all around the league. The Rockies and the Mets meet for their 3rd game of this series. The Mets are finishing up against the bottom of the NL West before they head to Los Angeles to face the top of the NL West. We got Chris Schubert of the Locked On Mets postcast to give us the story of the series for the Mets. Let's hear what Chris has to say right now.
No, it's not a typo. For the 3rd straight day, the Mets hit 3 home runs as they powered their way to a 5-3 win over the Colorado Rockies and finished off a 3-game sweep. They also finished off a 7-2 homestand. They'll now head out west to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers out in LA. But the story of this series is Juan Soto's breakout. Home runs in back-to-back days, 4 hits over the course of the series, continuing to get on base at a really good clip. It's starting to feel like the $765 million man is showing up for the New York Mets. And if that's the case, for a team that is back in first place, 37-22, if they are going to get this Juan Soto for at least the near future, boy, could the rest of the National League be in trouble.
Absolutely. Good word there from Chris on the Mets. And I mentioned they did something for the first time they haven't done all season, Steve. It's that the Mets got homers from Alonso, Soto, and Lindor in the same game for the first time this season. Chris mentioned it. Is this a sign of things to come for the New York Mets?
Lindor with 3 in the series, and he actually has 1 more now than Pete Alonso. I had to double check on that one. Alonso has 12, Lindor has 13.
Wow.
You know what? It's great that they all homer in the same game for the first time this season. But going back to the Brewers from segment number 1, I like the Brewers because they don't just rely on the long ball.
Right.
The Mets can go through streaks where they can't produce offense. Now, if Juan Soto's going to get going, he can get on base and, singles and doubles, and you can put runs together without hitting the ball to the ballpark. That's great. But the Mets, there were times last year where they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the time last year where they started really turning things around. Right now, bad week or bad weekend for the Phillies, good weekend for the Mets. Timing is everything sometimes. Yeah. And they're back in first place. just manufacture runs the way the Brewers can, because they've got speed, they've got power. They can hit the ball to the ballpark, but sometimes you need to win those low-scoring games. Let's see what they do against the Dodgers. Maybe they're not hitting the ball to the ballpark, but they've got to figure out, get them on, get them over, get them in. That still works in baseball.
Yeah, man, we just had this, Yankee Dodger series. Now we get to watch Mets and Dodgers meet in LA. So a lot of good baseball being played. On the note of Francisco Lindor's home run, he passes Derek Jeter on the all-time list for home runs from the shortstop position. He has 261 now. Jeter had 260. And so that's an exciting note if you're a fan of the New York Mets and Francisco Lindor. Let's take it to Reds meeting the Cubs. The Cubs sitting atop the NL Central, trying to stave off the Cincinnati Reds as these two meet for the rubber match on Sunday. Sam Olber of Locked On Cubs has one important question, and he's asking Cubs fans, and he tells us what went down at Wrigley. But I feel like his question is this a Nickelback reference? I'm not sure, but we're going to find out what Sam has to say. Here we go.
You having fun yet? Come on. Cubs win another series. They beat Cincinnati on Sunday by a score of 7-3. Win the series after dropping the opener on Friday. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. This is just another example, another reason that this is a very, very good baseball team. Jameson Taillon did his thing. Wind blowing in, throw a lot of strikes, pitch the conditions, 6 1/3, 2 earned runs. He's great in those spots. It was a really nice day for Michael Busch. He had a homer into the win, had another RBI single, drew a really good walk his first at bat, which I thought set the tone for his day. 3-hit day for Pete. Dansby got a big hit. Matt Shaw was outstanding defensively at third base. Just another team effort. Really good win, businesslike. The bats woke up a little bit finally at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing in. This team is something. This team is something. I can't wait to talk about this team tomorrow. The week ahead should be a tough road trip, but don't put it past this team. They are rolling.
This team is something, in the words of the great Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs. Steve, are there any holes in this Cubs team? Are they one of the more complete teams in Major League Baseball? What do you think?
Yes, they are certainly one of the most complete teams in baseball. And again, I think they can add as well here. They've got that flexibility. They wanted to spend more money in the offseason. Some people were negative in the sense that, maybe they, didn't want to part. They spent wisely. And they traded wisely as well. Sam, to me, kudos to him and a tip of the cap, because there's no putting a positive spin on this. This is just a positive team right now.
Yeah.
Sam, throughout the course of his life, has always liked, has always appreciated, has always loved his birthday presents. Always. And he appreciates what the Cubs are doing right now. Now, can they go in a funk? Absolutely they can.
Sure. But
they're at the top of the division. Everyone's chasing them in the division. And you go from there. But stay healthy and let's see what they can do. But again, Pete Crow Armstrong, his dips so far this season, his lows, they haven't been for very long.
Yeah.
This guy, he's just having a special season. Now, is he going to turn this into a special 4 or 5 years? That's down the road. But right now, he's in the conversation and everything. And I think what he does is he takes the pressure off everyone else in that lineup with what he's doing in terms of his success.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, just with his contributions almost nightly or daily, I should say, because it's the Cubs playing at a day game in Wrigley Field, but almost daily with PCA, we're talking about some sort of highlight, right?
Can I just say one thing here?
Absolutely.
If you haven't seen it, there is video, and the broadcasters did a nice job of it. Ellie De La Cruz found out and wanted to be in the lineup on Sunday. His older sister passed away on Saturday. He hits a home run in the 6th inning, his 12th on the year. Put that to the side, rounded the bases, looked towards the sky, emotional for him. I remember Willier Abreu did it last year in Texas for the Red Sox. When his grandmother passed, you had no idea what was going on inside of his head. But they gave the story. He hits the home run for his sister. How can you not be romantic? How can you not be emotional about this great game?
Absolutely. Yeah, baseball always delivers in that way. Hey, the Tigers meeting the Royals in Kansas City, a series finale between these two AL Central rivals. Jack Johnson of Locked On Royals shares about which Royal put up a dominant performance, but was given a little bit of a letdown by the rest of his team. Let's hear what Jack has to say.
After shutting out the Tigers 1-0 in Game 2, Detroit returns the favor on Sunday with a 1-0 win of their own. I'm the host of Locked On Royals, Jack Johnson, giving you my thoughts from today's game, beginning with how dominant yet again Kris Bubic was. He continues to lead the league in ERA, actually dropping that 1.45 to 1.43 after yet another performance where he goes 7 innings and allows just 1 run. He also tied a career high with 9 strikeouts. Unfortunately, as we've seen far too many times this season and far too many times with Kris Bubic on the mound, the offense doesn't give him anything. And it was one mistake that Bubic had, a pitch up in the zone to Zach McKinstry, who tripled and then came home on a wild pitch. That ended up being the decider. In those small margins there, you have to be better than the first place Tigers if you expect to win that series. They'll have an off day tomorrow and then head to St. Louis for a 3-game series with the Cardinals.
Not to say that Kris Bubic hasn't been perfect, because his ERA is sparkling clean at the top of Major League Baseball, but you have to be perfect when you're not getting offense behind you, and that puts a lot of pressure on some starting pitching. They need some offense, Steve. Where are the Royals shopping? Are they going shopping? What do you think is going to happen with this Royals team?
Well, you put that, John, on the rundown. I'm like, I don't know where they go get a bat right now, but now we know.
Yeah.
And I had the answer, but now we certainly have the answer. They're doing it from within.
Yeah.
Just before we went live with MLB Game Night, Jeff Passan, I think, was the first from ESPN reporting that Jack Caglione is being promoted. Royals, hey, he'll make his Major League debut in Missouri, but it's going to be in St. Louis, not in Kansas City.
Right.
That series underway on Tuesday. Caglione is coming to the big leagues. Time in AA, very little time in AAA. They think he's ready to go. That's a big bat. Where he's going to play, if he's going to DH, play a corner, play first base or a corner in the outfield, who knows? The bat is there. You wanted a bat, you asked for a bat, you got a bat in Jack Caglione.
And the best way to do it is promote from within. And so it didn't cost the Royals
draft, develop, and promote.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we got a new home run leader in MLB, and the Nationals have a 4-game win streak. The Diamondbacks, meanwhile, had a 4-game losing streak. Something's got to give in the desert, and we'll tell you all about it coming right up. Steve, take us to the Red Sox meeting the Braves in Atlanta for this series finale. Tell us all about it.
Hey, the Red Sox take the series. They go 2-4 on their road trip, swept by Milwaukee to open up, walked twice in extra innings to open up the week. Spencer Schwellenbach, outstanding, John, for the Braves on Saturday. Garrett Crochet, outstanding for the Red Sox on Sunday. Struck out 12. They let him throw well over 100 pitches, and he went 7 innings. He went back out for the 7th. What'd he do? He struck out the side. Again, 12 strikeouts for Crochet, who took the mound on Sunday for the 9th time this season after the team had lost the previous game. Now, the only runs in this one, wild pitch for the Tigers. They win 1-0 against Bubic and the Royals. The only runs, 2-out, 3-run double off the top of the wall and just a little to straightaway center field, just to the left of straightaway center field off the bat of Trevor Story. That in the first inning, and that off of Bryce Elder, and then Marcell Ozuna hit a home run against Crochet in the bottom of the first. That was it. Aroldis Chapman, scoreless 9th inning. Reds take the finale 3-1. All 4 runs scored in the first. Now they go home, and if you didn't see it on the schedule, Trout and the Angels are in town. Hey, we're not together over the next 3 games, but we'll see how this one plays out. If you don't have anyone good in the lineup, if your pitchers right now are average, they're going to look like future Hall of Famers maybe over this 3-game series at Fenway.
You know
Been
what?
saying that a lot lately.
I would say the same thing about the Angels too, but we'll certainly be texting back and forth over the next 3 games. That'll be fun. Nationals and the Diamondbacks. I told you they met in the desert. Nationals 4 in a row win streak. Diamondbacks have dropped 4 in a row. Something had to give in this series finale. And Ryan from Locked On Nationals has the lowdown for how this one ended. Let's hear from Ryan right now.
Everyone for the Washington Nationals up at this point in time, they're trending up. Mitchell Parker, he seems to be trending down. I'm Ryan Clary from Locked On Nationals, and Mitchell Parker in today's start gave up 3 runs in today's first inning. Lo and behold, the Nationals lost today's game 3-1. He gave up that massive home run to Eugenio Suarez, dead center field. That felt like it was like 430 feet off the bat. And that was really all it wrote today for the Nationals. But with that in mind, the Nationals were 4-2 on this road trip. They kicked butt the other day in Arizona on Saturday and also in Friday's contest. And of course, they killed the baseball in Seattle as well. So a very successful West Coast road trip. Tomorrow, the boys had the day off. And then Chicago, They're coming to town.
There you go. Steve, the Diamondbacks did pick up the win 3-1, but they might have lost Corbin Burns, right?
Yeah, left with 2 outs in the 5th inning with an elbow issue. Torey Lovullo, manager of the Diamondbacks, saying afterwards to the media that he felt discomfort in his right elbow. MRI on Monday. Burns apparently told the medical staff, the athletic trainers, and Torey Lovullo he didn't hear a pop or anything, but just discomfort in there. You fear the worst, you hope for the best right now. And as he was coming off the mound, it looked like doomsday, like he's done for the year. After the game, a little bit different, perhaps a little optimism. You're not going to know until the next couple of days, but best case, he's out for a handful of starts right now, and that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, after that to AJ Smith-Shawver the other night, everybody's holding their breath when you see the guy shaking out his elbow like that. Hey, an underachieving Orioles team and a no expectations White Sox team, they met for their finale on Sunday. So which team took the finale? Here's Todd of Locked On White Sox. He's got some disappointments in his team, but he's also got some silver linings. Here's Todd.
Pointing. The White Sox had a chance to show they were making some progress in the grand scheme of things, and instead they served as a get-right team for the struggling Baltimore Orioles. Hello, I'm Todd Welter, host of Locked On White Sox, and the White Sox get swept by the Orioles after losing 3-2 in the series finale. And while the sweep helps the Sox in the Tankathon standings, it was disappointing to lose this series after the pitching held up its side of things. A much better team likely would have won this series, but clearly the White Sox have a long road to get to that point, especially when the offense could not muster many runs against a terrible pitching staff. Luis Robert Jr. was the poster child of a bad offense, going 0 for 10 in the series, and you got to wonder what the club will do with the struggling former All-Star. About the only positive offensively in the series was Mike Tauchman, who homered in today's game and is building up his trade value with a 1.071 OPS over the past 7 days. And I'll have more on tomorrow's episode of Locked On White Sox.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 loss to the Orioles for the White Sox. And, the silver lining there is, Mike Tauchman being a possible trade candidate. How about Adrian Hauser, Steve? He's had a couple of good starts to start this year, right?
Everyone had a shot at Adrian Hauser.
Yeah.
Takes a loss, 3 earned runs allowed, but 6 1/3 innings. You'll take that.
Yeah.
But as Todd has said, with Luis Robert Jr. right now, you went into the season hoping that he would have great trade value come deadline, and right now it's just not there. And I'm sure they're being scouted for him, but it kind of is. He is what he is. I mean, think about the Marlins and what they have with Alcantara as a possible trade chip. You may not get back what you thought in spring training come July for these two guys, because they have not met expectations in 2025 to this point.
No, not at all. Hey, a blowout Rangers win on Friday versus the Cardinals. Then the Cardinals have a shutout win on Saturday. So this one was only going to go one of two ways. And JD of Locked On Cardinals tells us how this one went down in the series finale in Texas.
St. Louis Cardinals fall to the Texas Rangers on Sunday and drop 2 of 3 in this series, and the lack of offense was a big reason why. Hey, it's JD from Locked On Cardinals, and yes, the final score was 8-1 on Sunday, but it was a 3-1 ball game until the 8th inning, and that's when the Rangers played at 5 against the combination of Steven Matz and Roddery Munoz to blow things open. Now, the Cardinals, they didn't do much offensively in this game or the entire series. They were outscored 19-4 in 3 games. Thank heaven for Sonny Gray's brilliance on Saturday, or they likely would have been swept. They got crushed on Friday 11-1. They win 2-0 on Saturday, but then lose 8-1 on Sunday. But even if the pitching staff holds things down a little bit, scoring 4 runs over 3 games is normally not going to get it done. We also saw some defensive lapses on Sunday, which was an extension of multiple mistakes that they've made during the 6-game road trip, specifically in the series against Baltimore. The Cardinals got off to this strong start this year by being elite defensively, but if the offense falters and the defense begins to show cracks, it most certainly will spell trouble for the Redbirds moving forward. For the latest updates and info, be sure to keep it Locked On Cardinals.
Yeah, Jacob deGrom on the mound in this one actually had some Ks in this game after going strikeoutless in his last start. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. As JD mentioned, the Rangers take this one 8-1 on Sunday. Let's take it to Pirates versus the Padres. Pirates and Padres split the first 2 games. Every Padres fan is saying, this is a series that we should sweep. Well, at the end of the day, we've got the result here. And Gary of Locked On Pirates, who's had a lot to smile about lately, despite, his Pirates not meeting someone's expectations. He's got a lot to smile about. We'll see if they kept him smiling in this one. Let's hear from Gary.
Pirates lost a game they should have won today, 6-4. Bullpen let them down late in this one. I'm Gary from Locked On Pirates. Milestone home run for Andrew McCutchen. Ties Roberto Clemente for all-time in Pirates home run history anyway. And anytime you're mentioning your name in the company of Roberto Clemente, you've done something well. So there's a celebration. The other side of it is, honestly, the Pirates got the starting pitching. Andrew Heaney was fine today. The offense did enough. 4 runs. Should win most games. Didn't tonight. Bullpen failure. Late in this one, Tanner Rainey, Caleb Ferguson unable to lock it down. Disappointing one. Really could have had a 4-2 road trip. Would have been nice. West Coast swing, kind of redemption arc for them. Instead, they go home 3-3. Better than a lot of people expected. Not good enough to start climbing out of whatever hole they've already dug.
Yeah, unfortunate when you're a team in the Pirates situation and you lose those should have won games, but that's not a terrible place to be, right, Steve?
No, but on the other side, you've got a guy like Robert Suarez, works a 1-2-3 ninth for the Padres, able to close the door on what, as Gary said, should have been a win for the Pirates. They're learning how. They're going to take their bumps, and they've got a long learning curve here. They really do. Offense can get going, and all of a sudden you don't get the starting pitching. Hey, they got Bailey Falter doing a terrific job on Saturday.
Right.
There's some things in here that are capable. How do they build on them, and how do they put a little run together and feel good about themselves? And then the fan base can also start to feel good if they can start putting things together. Just within the clubhouse alone, work on the positives, and build on them somehow, some way. 3-3 on a road trip. You wanted better, but 500, that's what you want to do on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of being on the road, we mentioned my Angels are headed to Boston next. They met the Guardians in Cleveland. They've split the series heading into Sunday, but Gavin Williams for the Guardians went no-hitter distance until the 6th inning, and he gave up a single that Daniel Schneemann played the wrong direction, and so he felt like he wore that one and lost Gavin Williams' no-hitter. But there's a lot to be excited about with Gavin Williams. I do caution Guardians fans, like I cautioned Brian of Locked On Yankees before this Dodger series. The Angels' bats are terrible right now. And so if you're excited about your pitching performance you got against the Angels recently, just take some caution as you head into New York City, Guardians. Now, the Guardians did take this one 4-2. Mike Trout had a scheduled off day, did get a pinch hit RBI. We'll probably see a lot of him at DH. In this series in Boston. Steve, take us to the Giants meeting the Marlins in Miami.
Yeah, it's an interesting series with these two clubs. Giants won the opener 2-0 Saturday, 1-0 victory for the Marlins as they were to come back and even up the series. Giants take the finale 4-2, take 2 out of 3 in Miami. Luis Matos, couple of hits, 3 RBIs, 3-run home run in the 4th inning. That made it 4-0. He also had one of the 4 stolen bases in that ball game as well. Hayden Burnsong, the win. His third, 5 1/3, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Again, Giants take 2 out of 3.
Best thing they could have done is putting Birdsong back in that rotation. I love that. The Twins meeting the Mariners in Seattle. Seattle wins this one 2-1 and win the series 2-1 with Shohei and Aaron Judge going 0 for 4 tonight. Cal Raleigh takes sole possession of the MLB home run lead, his 23rd of the season. How about that? From the catcher spot. You love that kind of production. So, this one was close until the 9th inning. Mariners lost the lead, but the game was tied at 1-1. Randy Arozarena, an RBI single in the bottom of the 9th. Second straight walk-off win and the 4th walk-off win for the Mariners in this one. Steve, take us to the Rays meeting the Astros at the end of this 4-game set.
Yeah, what a great series this was. 2 blowout wins for the Rays. They had 18 hits and 16 runs and a 16-3 win on Saturday.
Wow.
Of course, the Astros come back and win 1-0 behind Hunter Brown on Sunday. They split the 4 games. Astros are winning the 2 games, outscoring the Rays 3-1 total. Hunter Brown, 8th win of the season, 6 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 5 Ks, gave up the only hit of the day in the 6th inning. Josh Lowe led off with a single. Taj Bradley was terrific. Gave up just 1 unearned run over 7, struck out 10. Josh Hader, a couple of strikeouts in a scoreless 9th inning to pick up the save, his 15th on the year, John.
Finally, let's take it to the A's, meeting the Blue Jays in Toronto. The Jays have a 6-run 8th inning comeback to win this finale 8-5 on Sunday. The Jays offense has been quiet for most of the season, so to see them come alive, even if it's against a team like the A's, man, if you're a Toronto Blue Jays fan, you're going to take that every single day of the week. Vlad Jr. with 2 hits, 2 doubles for his 2 hits and 2 RBI. He's reached base in 32 straight games. That's an incredible stat for Vladdy Jr. Hey, that's going to do it for this edition of Locked On MLB Game Night. Thank you for joining us here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Find us in your audio podcast feed as well. We hope you'll come back and visit us tomorrow night as we take you around the league, a smaller slate, but we'll be here for you because it's MLB Game Night, every game, every night.